Hello everybody, and welcome to the face reading of the people in the news. For those of you who are with me today for the first time, if you get interested in the subject of face reading, you can watch my YouTube's Introduction to Face Reading and Face Reading 101 Part 1, Part 2. You can also, of course, buy my book, Face Reading for Successful Relationships. It's available on Amazon.com. Today I will be talking about Robin Williams. Here he is just before his tragic end. Last week, I did a reading of this couple, Ellen DeGeneres and Portia de Rossi, and I said that Ellen DeGeneres, George Carlin, and Robin Williams have been my most favorite comedians, and I realized that it would be so good to do a reading on Robin Williams, not only because of his tragic end, an untimely departure from this world, but also because his morphology, I believe, has something to do with it. If somebody would ask me, who is the most interesting, creative, spontaneous, prolific, and brilliant entertainer of all, I would, without hesitation, say Robin Williams. He was an incredible stand-up comedian. Here he is. He starred and co-starred in countless movies, some of which became masterpieces. My favorites are Good Will Hunting, Dead Poet Society, Awakenings, Good Morning Vietnam, Mrs. Doubtfire. The richness of what Robin Williams offered as an entertainer is staggering. So I would like us to look at Robin's personality first, and then his temperament, and see if there was anything in his morphology that has something to do with how he ended his life. His face/personality. What do you think was it? Of course, Mars. Let's remember what is Mars' personality. All sanguine temperaments are faces of sanguine temperament are action-oriented. Within the faces of the sanguine, Mars is the most action-oriented. They do not have the patience to address issues. Instead, they fight to get their way. Of course, Robin Williams fought with his tongue. The Mars take risks. They're accident-prone because they do not want to take time to assess the situation and have trouble foreseeing the consequences. Of all sanguine personalities, they have the shortest attention span and the shortest fuse. If the Mars temperamentally are not sanguine, but are of a different temperament, it means that in their childhood or the teens, they had to learn, quote, the act of war to survive. In that case, most Mars characteristics are not very strongly manifested, except the impulse to put up a fight. The rest of qualities correspond with qualities of their temperament. We know that Robin had two older half-brothers. Maybe that was the unconscious reason for him to become Mars. And we also know that Robin did not have a sanguine temperament. Temperamentally he was, yes? Yes, he was a bilious. Look at all these three characteristics: the short corner of the jaw, the chin on the level of the forehead, and the roundness of his bilious forehead. That's how he could do comedy for hours non-stop and not get tired. Remember what bilious is: willful, long-distance runner, long-term planner, great energy and endurance, needs little sleep, active, organized, positive pessimist, sees the negative in the world but gets inspired by the possibility of turning this negative into good. If you look at this picture, it reveals something else. There is a gentle tilting of the forehead on the upper part of the forehead, and a slight, very slight receding of the chin. So, though almost pure bilious, Robin Williams also had a little bit of, yes, nervous cast. And that, of course, added to his temperament the wit, the creativity, sensitivity, and humor. So what happened then? At the age of 63, having a wife, 3 children, Robin Williams just, boom, killed himself out of the blue. On August 11, 2014, Robin Williams committed suicide at his home in California. In an initial report released on August 12th, the Marin County Sheriff's Office stated that Robin Williams had hanged himself with a belt. The final autopsy report, released in November 2014, affirmed that Williams had committed suicide as initially described. Neither alcohol nor illegal drugs were involved, while all prescription drugs in his body were at, quote, therapeutic levels. An examination of his brain tissue revealed the presence of what is called body dementia, which had been misdiagnosed as Parkinson's disease. Describing the disease as the terrorists inside my husband's brain, his wife, Susan, stated that however you look, the presence of that dementia took his life. That's what she said. Really? There are many people who have dementia or Parkinson's disease or Alzheimer's. Very few commit suicide. I do not believe that the realization of his slow creeping illness just struck Robin and he found a quick way out. I did his left/right side facial analysis. Remember what it means? I did this many times with others before. The left side of the face is associated with the people's past, the right side with the present and the potential for the future. If you're interested in looking at where a person is coming from in terms of his, her emotional makeup and where he, she is going, you paste together the 2 left sides and the 2 right sides. Look at these 3 pictures. You see anything interesting? At first it looks like there is not much difference, but look closer. Can you see that on the 2 left sides picture, the edges of the lips go a little up, meaning optimism and hopefulness. But then the 2 right sides picture, the edges are already flat. These changes do not happen overnight. They happen over years, slowly. Next. Look at the eyes of the 2 left side picture. The eyes are sparkling alive. And on the 2 right side picture, the eyes are sad. That tells us that even though Robin was optimistic and excited about life in the past, all that was fading away at the time this last picture was taken of his present and the potential for the future. So he was not in a good place. And finally, look at the ears. On the 2 left side picture, the ears are far from the skull, meaning that in the past, Robin was independent. On the 2 right side picture, the present moment, you can see the ears are close to the skull, meaning he was affected by the outside and had trouble making up his own mind, was affected by opinions of others. I wonder what effect it had on him. And finally, look at this picture where we observed Robin having a nervous cast. Look at his upper lip. It's virtually non-existent. No upper lip means that a person really does not communicate with the world, does not share what's inside. You may say, how could that be? This guy could not shut up. He's talked all the time. Yep. Look at his ear. The space between the tragus and the antitragus is huge, meaning he was very talkative. Talkative does not mean sharing. He could talk about anything, but did not share what was inside. This, I believe, is the key to understanding the tragedy. A person who brought so much joy to others, once confronted with a serious illness was unable to get any emotional support. Not because it was not available, but because he did not know how to ask, did not know how to share with his fears and his pain. For those of you who have the tendency to keep things inside, the no upper lip faults, the words of King Solomon, I have had many good teachers, but the greatest of all has been silence. Those words are not applicable when you are searching for wisdom. They are applicable when you are searching for wisdom, but they are not applicable when you're in pain. When you're in pain, it's good not to be alone. It is important to, even if that is not what you would normally do, connect with others and share your pain. It is so tragic, again, that a man who brought so much joy to others left this world in sadness and desperation. Perhaps his final gift to us is the lesson we can learn from his untimely departure. And that is all for Robin Williams. Peace to all who want to live in peace.